As we speak, Donald Trump's economic approval rating is absolutely cratering with the American people and an increasing number of Republicans. Even as he and his team desperately tried to spin the situation, the fact of the matter is that Trump's economy is objectively bad and getting worse. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, before we get into the reality of the situation, I want you to see the cope coming from Trump and top Trump administration officials. So this is Trump on Truth Social just this morning. He says, despite the massive amount of money being made by the United States of America, hundreds of billions of dollars, as a direct result of tariffs being charged to other countries, the full benefit of the tariffs has not been calculated in that many of the buyers of goods and products, in order to avoid paying the tariffs in the short term, stock up by purchasing far more inventory than they can use. That heavy inventory purchase is now, however, wearing thin, and soon tariffs will be paid on everything they apply to, without avoidance, and the amounts available to the USA will skyrocket over and above the already historic levels of dollars received. These payments will be record-setting and put our nation on a new and unprecedented course. We're already seeing the hottest country anywhere in the world, but this tariff power will bring the American national security and wealth, the likes of which has never been seen before. Those opposing us are serving hostile foreign interests that are not aligned with the success, safety, and prosperity of the United States of America. They couldn't care less about us. I look so much forward to the United States Supreme Court's decision on this urgent and time-sensitive matter so we can continue, in an uninterrupted manner, to make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. So it's hilarious that Trump is doing this because not only is he saying, listen, my economy's great, but actually you haven't fully appreciated the benefits yet. Right. So again, he's putting, the benefits have not fully manifested yet. And what benefits have been there, you guys don't appreciate. He's been waffling back and forth in this message. But it's just funny he's still trying to tie it to tariffs. Tariffs are widely unpopular. The American people don't support Trump's tariffs. They support it even less than they did at the beginning. And they didn't support it at the beginning either. So he's trying to, I think, bite off more than he can chew in this case. No, you think the economy sucks. Actually, the economy's great and you're too stupid to understand it. Moreover, the full economic benefits have not been felt yet, so you're going to feel more of it. And that's actually, it's a direct result of the very policy you all claim to hate. I don't think this is good, okay? But it's not just Trump. It's also Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who's widely seen as the adult in the room. He's not. He's terrible, too. He's just not as terrible as, say, Pete Hegseth. So here was Bessent yesterday on the Sunday morning news shows trying to make the case that actually Trump's economy is pretty good. And we don't want to tell the American people how they feel, but actually it is good and they're wrong if they feel that way.
And yet some prices are going up. Of course, we have seen prices increasing on staples like coffee, bananas, bacon. Inflation has gone up. It's at 3% now, up from 2% in April when the tariffs were imposed.
No. They weren't. So inflation hasn't gone up. And Kristen, the one thing that we're not going to do is do what the Biden administration did and tell the American people they don't know how they feel. They are traumatized, and over the Biden inflation, we have slowed inflation, and we are working very hard to bring it down.
And yet,
so Bessent's lying. Inflation has ticked up on his watch and on Trump's watch. So he's just a liar. That's why I say he's not the adult in the room. The numbers are what the numbers are. It's why Kristen Welker quoted them. No. The numbers are fake when we don't like them. I want you to hear one more clip from Bessent here, because again, it's just so funny while he's trying to have it both ways. But also remember, put a pin on this. He says, we're not going to tell the American people how they feel. They're traumatized because of Joe Biden. Remember that. We will be revisiting that when we discuss how the American people are reacting to this. Right now, I'm giving you the cope coming from Trump and his top officials about the disastrous Trump economy. We'll get to the reality in just a second. But one last clip from Treasury Secretary Bessent.
Let me ask you big picture, Mr. Secretary. You said earlier this month, I'm going to quote you, quote, I think there are sectors of the economy that are in a recession. Kevin Hassett, director of the National Economic Council, said, quote, we're starting to see pockets of the economy that look like they might be in a recession. Which parts of the economy do you believe have dipped into a recession?
Well, clearly housing has been struggling, and so interest rate sensitive sectors have been in a recession. And the other thing that was not helpful, Kristen, was the longest government shutdown in history. It was 1.5% hit to GDP. The 9,500 flights canceled, and the Democrats didn't care that they hurt the American economy. Anything to stop Donald Trump.
Well, big picture, is the country at risk, the entire country at risk of being in a recession?
No, I am very confident about 2026, because what we are going to see is the president has done peace deals, tax deals, and trade deals, the one big beautiful bill.
So they've gone from, we're going to cut costs day one. Remember, we've shown you the clips, clip after clip after clip after clip of Donald Trump in 2024 on the campaign trail saying, on day one, we're going to cut the costs. The costs are going to be so far down. And now what we're getting is, okay, listen, give us a year, right? They're moving the goalposts because they lied to you to get your votes. And then when they got your votes, they realized, or rather they probably understood, at least most people understood all along in the Trump campaign, that there was no way Trump could actually follow through on this particular promise. But they lied to you to get your vote. Now that they have your vote, now they're moving the goalposts, and they hope you don't notice. But you are noticing, and it's manifesting itself in the polls. So remember, everything that Trump and Bessent said, all tariffs are working amazingly. This is all Joe Biden's fault. We're not going to tell you how to feel, but also you don't know what you're talking about because it really is Joe Biden's fault, and you guys should stop complaining. Let's see CNN's data analyst Harry Enton break it down based on a Fox News poll, not a CNN poll, a Fox poll.
I mean, just your costs are up versus a year ago. Groceries, 85%. Utilities, 78%. Healthcare, 67%. Housing, 66%. Gasoline, 54%. The bottom line is this. Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives, rising, ever climber, and they just don't feel like, Kate Baldwin, that they can catch a break.
The Treasury Secretary in new comments kind of dismissed the impact tariffs is having on inflation, also saying that prices are going to be coming down in weeks. Some other prices are going to be coming down in months. What do Americans think about that?
Yeah, they think he's full of it. That's exactly what they think. I mean, just take a look here. Tariffs raising prices right now. I'm going to come over Kate's side of the screen, 71%.
How dare you?
How dare I do that? 84% of Democrats, 74% of independents, and even a majority of Republicans. When you can get a majority of Republicans to agree with majority of Democrats, you know that the pain is being felt by the American public right now. The Treasury Secretary can try and tell the people something, but they can feel in their pocketbooks. They simply put, don't buy what he and this administration is selling them when it comes to tariffs.
So let's stop right there for just a second. There's more, but just a second. So again, just a direct refutation, and this is damning. This is damning. An increasing number of Republicans have turned sour on tariffs. So Trump is saying tariffs are great and they're leading to economic success. Even his own party are like, yeah, we were going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We tried, and actually damn near a supermajority of us believe that you're full of shit. We'll get back to that clip in just a second, but on this note, Axios has a report, more Republicans disapprove of Trump's economy. Voters increasingly disapprove of the way Donald Trump is handling the economy and believe his policies are raising prices, according to a new poll from CBS News YouGov. The discontent is also showing up in significant numbers among Republican voters as the affordability crisis is affecting sentiment within Trump's own base. Trump's approval on the economy has fallen to 36%, down from 51% in March. That is staggering. I'm not even sure Biden went through such a free fall on the economy in such a short amount of time. A majority say his policies are raising food and grocery costs. Voters who judge him mostly on the economy say he's not spending enough time on it. The intrigue. Republican disapproval for Trump's handling of the economy also rose. 4 in 10 Republicans say he portrays prices and inflation as better than they really are. This group was also more likely to say prices are going up. The Trump administration has been working to address the affordability crisis, which in part led to the success of several Democratic candidates in early November. Proposed solutions include a potential $2,000 stimulus check paid for by tariff revenue and 50-year mortgages. Now, the 50-year mortgage idea is outright calamitous. It'd be a catastrophic idea panned by conservative and liberal economists and housing and mortgage experts alike, number one. Number two, the $2,000 check, I don't think the Democrats can count that one out because Trump brilliantly forced, or rather I shouldn't say he forced because he just did it himself. At the end of his first term, when the first stimulus check went out, Donald Trump delayed the release of the stimulus checks, which was terrible and selfish. But the reason he delayed that, and it was a Democratic-led initiative, I will point out, Democrats in Congress, but he delayed the execution, the dispensation of that check so he could put his name on the check. That way, when Americans got the check, they would see, hey, this is a check for however much money it was. I can't even remember at this point. Then they look down and they would see Donald Trump's signature. And the polling on this was still pretty favorable. People remembered it years later. I would not put it past Trump to try that shit again right before the midterms. Now, of course, it also depends on whether or not he's going to be able to keep his tariff revenue, because it's entirely possible that the United States Supreme Court strikes down his tariffs. But again, that won't help the economy, as this Axios reports explains that economists and strategists tell Axios these solutions will not address underlying affordability challenges. We'll get to that in a second. But it might help Trump and the Republicans politically heading into the 2026 midterms, and such that they're able to undermine a blue wave or shore up, their losses against a blue wave, whatever. So again, I don't think Democrats can just discount that. Economists and strategists tell Axios these solutions will not address the underlying affordability challenges. Quote, the problem with the government trying to solve market problems is it's always a supply issue, and the government is not great at solving supply issues, says Marta Norton, chief investment strategist of Empower. So again, an increasing number of Republicans are souring. So now we're going to close the loop with the final part of this clip from CNN's Harry Enten.
And Harry, one thing we've heard over and over again is the president and many of those around him blaming the Biden administration for where inflation is right now. Do people agree with that?
No. No. You know what? I want to quote Judge Judy, but I'm not going to. I'm merely going to try and say it's like they're trying to sell ice up at the North Pole when it comes to this. More responsible for the current economy. 62% of Americans say it's Donald Trump. Just 32% say it's Joe Biden. Look, Donald Trump did, in fact, inherit an economy from Joe Biden, but now we are nearly a year into the Donald Trump administration. If the Trump administration is trying to push the buck over there, that simply put, the American folks aren't buying it. They say at this point it is Donald Trump's economy, and what is happening in terms of inflation is his responsibility.
That's what happens when you become president.
Who knew? You know what?
You inherit the economy.
That's exactly right.
So there you have it, folks. Again, I'll point out that even 32% is way too high, but Donald Trump is, again, he's a child. Everything good is because of me, even when I'm out of power. Everything bad is because of Joe Biden, even when he's out of power. It's pathetic, and the vast majority of the American public is not falling for it. So there you have it. He's panicking. He's desperate, and it's only getting worse, not just for the American people materially, but also for Donald Trump and the Republicans politically. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.